Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Sharif over here and I'm back with another video. So guys, how are you doing? Let me hope that all is well. On my side, all is well, and you guys, I'm back with another video. As you know that you guys, I'm currently in Nairobi, Kenya, and you guys, I was like, why don't I talk about the real cost of living in Kenya, me as a Ugandan, and I've done my research and that is why I'm here. So guys, without wasting any of your time, let's dive into this amazing video right now. I want to draw to you a picture, like me in my opinion, the things that I found like interesting in Kenya. Cause now take it like I'm from like another country, I'm referred to as a foreigner, and of course I've found a lot of like things that have given me like wonders in my brain. So guys, I have all my things set. As I told you, I came well prepared. So the first point I'm going to be talking about it is the accommodation in Kenya, Nairobi specifically. You guys, me talking about the accommodation in Kenya, Nairobi, it is top notch. It is top notch. I cannot compare it to like the accommodations here in Kampala, Uganda, cause I don't know why everything here in Kampala it is that like pricey. They do price a lot something, and you like you as the people in Uganda, at the end of the day you're going to end up like feeling small. Let me talk about the Airbnb that I slept in here in Nairobi. The first day I came to Nairobi, it was around 2,500 Kenyan shillings, and that is about something like 60,000 Ugandan shillings. You guys, this is a very good like price to charge someone, most especially when someone has come like for a visit, when someone is going to stay for a couple of weeks in a certain country. That is why I just fell in love with Kenya. Imagine 2,500 Kenyan shillings for 2 days. 2 days, as in 2 complete days. And this Airbnb, it had like it was fully furnitured with all the equipments that you need, the flat irons, the spoons, the saucepans, and all of that other good stuff. Yet here in Uganda, Kampala, you can pay for a night 150,000 Ugandan shillings, yet it is just a room with a bed. So the Kenyan people should take their flowers on this. Your accommodation is top notch. And me, like when I was categorizing here the things that I was going to talk about, first of all, it was the Airbnb that costed me around 2,500 Kenyan shillings, and that is about 60,000 Ugandan shillings, and it is $19.32, yeah, if I'm not mistaken. And the hotel, as in a full hotel, me talk about like the hotel, the Airbnb and the hotel, they are two different things. In the Airbnb, you're just provided with the house and you're just like left there with all like the powers to yourself. But the hotel, they have to come and supervise you, they have to provide you like with breakfast, lunch, and all of that other good stuff. And I did find out that a hotel here in Kenya, Nairobi, it can cost you around 10,000 Kenyan shillings, and that is about 277,000 Ugandan shillings. Just imagine, that is a lot of money in Ugandan shilling, and in dollars that is something like $77.29, yeah. And I've also found out that it depends on the location where you're going to be like sleeping at, because we do have like the Westland, yeah, the Westlands, we have the East Heights, we have the CBD, and all of like other regions. Like back in my country, we do have like Entebbe, Lubowa. So even these guys in Nairobi have like specific locations, and you sleeping in a fancy region, it may cost you high, and you like sleeping in non like a fancy region, you will be on your budget. So take note that in the Airbnb, you're going to prepare each and everything for yourself, starting from the food and like some small things, doing like your dishes. But in a hotel, they are going to be doing all of that stuff for you, because you're going to pay full amount and they're going to cover up everything that you have paid for. So the second point that I'm going to be talking about in this video, it is the food and groceries. My god, I found like the Kenyan food very amazing, yeah, compared to where I come from. Where I come from, we do have like some like food, let me say food types, but in Nairobi they do have even I think more than 20 kinds of food, and all of these like dishes, they are top notch. They are top notch. So let me talk about you eating in a local restaurant. That can cost you around 500 Kenyan shillings, and that is something like 13 Ugandan shillings, yeah, something like 13,000 Ugandan shillings, and in dollars that can be $3.86, something like that. So you eating in a local restaurant, you're going to like realize that you're going to stay on your budget, and you're going to have something good and something that is tasty. So as you know that the fingers can never be equal, there are some of our colleagues that decide to go for something like international dishes. There are people who say that when I go to some countries which are not like my country, I just decide to go on with the international foods that I know, and that is not a problem because each and everyone has a different taste towards something. So you who wants to try an international sport, you'll be charged something like 2,000 Kenyan shillings, and that is something like 55 Uganda shillings, and in dollars it will be something like 15.5, something like that, 5 6, something like that. And at the end of the day, you're going to find out that your money was worth, cause just know that everything sold in Nairobi, in Kenya, things are very tasty. There is that smell that they have a very like amazing smell. Back in my country, do have like foods that smell good, but here in Nairobi, let me also talk about like the street foods here in Nairobi. They do have a lot of like different like things, starting from the samosas, the mutra, something like that. I think the mutra, it is that combination of minced meat making something like a sausage. They do have the mandazi and the chapati and a lot of other things that you may find interesting and tasty, and they are not okay like that expensive, putting you on a budget that will be ranging something from 100 to 150 Kenyan shillings. That is not like a lot of money, and remember, it is high or less, and all these things, they give like good vibe. Because I just found, I don't know whether I'm just getting like hypnotized with the Nairobi thing, because each thing that I tried in Nairobi was top notch. So as I was doing my research, I also like looked to the other side of a person who does not okay like want to go to all of those places that I've talked about, from the local like sports to the international sports, or something like the street foods, and you as an individual, you want to get something to buy, and so that you cook it, put it in the fridge, and you'll be just like warming it while you're having it. You can also go downtown in the market, but this has like something like, I'll give you something like a hint. If you are to buy food from a local market, please and please move with someone who knows the market. If it is your first time in Nairobi and you do want to buy food like outside to the street vendors, something like that, please go with someone who knows the streets, because you get their problems and you'll be like, Nairobi people did me this and that. Problem in the very first place. So go on with someone who knows the market, and these guys will help you with the communication, with something even like the billing. On the other hand, for the people who like don't want to be in that something like of like the market, going to the market, you can also try going to some like malls or some supermarkets that do have like something like nice like groceries, because they do have, because me I did like try Carrefour, something like that, and these guys have fresh groceries. Each and everything is good, and yeah, you can also try it because they do have like a fixed price. It is not like in the markets that you're going to bargain, but if you find that something is something like 150 Kenyan shillings, that is it. Another point that I'm going to be talking about in this video, I think it's going to be something, is it the fourth? if I'm not forgetting, it is the 4th. It is going to be about the transportation, or you can say transport. Here in Nairobi, there are a lot and a lot of like different means of transport. And let me first start with, okay, like the local like means. We have the matatu, we have the tuk-tuks, and we do have, okay, like these online like cars and boda bodas. I don't know how the boda bodas are called here in Nairobi, but back in my country we do call them boda bodas, something like that. Talking about like these means of transport, they are fast and they are cheap. Though when I was coming here in Nairobi, the first time, yeah, when I was coming here in Nairobi, I did get a matatu that had to put me to some stop where I had to get something like an Uber, so that to take me to my hotel. But this guy overpriced me. I don't know whether I was speaking English or something else, but this guy's overpriced me, and I was like, it's okay, because the locals were like, nah, that is a lot of money, because it is not what we have paid, and why are they making you to pay that? Just imagine the locals telling me that you're being scammed by their fellow locals. That shows that Nairobi is a country where people like, how do they say, they do, okay, like wish good for each other. Yeah, because I was someone who was traveling, and these guys were like arguing for me. Thank you guys from Nairobi. Me, I would recommend you who is traveling for the first time from your country to here in Nairobi, to use the online like cars or boda bodas. Though I would recommend the cars. In these cars we do have Bolt, we do have Uber and others, and a Bolt, I think it's the one that is more cheap. They are small like cars, these VTs, something like that tend to carry you from one place to another, and these guys have like a good customer care. I loved it a lot, because if, okay, like your driver recognizes that you're not a person from the area, he will like take you through when you're passing to a different building, and he or she will tell you that that is the Kenyan Museum, that is this, that is that, this is Westgate, that is. I just love how these people like cooperate with others. So the Bolt, it can charge you something like 800 Kenyan shillings, and that is something like 22,000 Ugandan shillings for a Bolt, and in dollars that is something like $6.18, yeah, if I'm not mistaken. And the Uber, it is somehow expensive, because even back in my country in Uganda, the Ubers are left for the rich, let me say it like that. It is somehow pricey, because these guys have like good cars, they have good serviced cars, and they do have, okay, like a good like texture outside. When you go out of it, even they may think it's your own car. And here in Nairobi, I've experienced it that they do have like a lot of beautiful cars, and these like companies, they do buy like top-notch cars. And the Uber, it can charge you also something like 800 and above. And remember, these like online applications for the transport means, it depends on your destination. So if your destination is something like not that long, it will give you a fair price. But if you're going somewhere like far, they will give you a price that has to be in that journey. Have I talked about the prices of the tuk-tuk with matatu? I think I've not talked about it. Let me also talk about it. The matatu, it is something like the taxi, as I called it back in my country. It will depend on it will depend, okay, like on your destination. But though here in the matatu, you can bargain with the driver, not compared to the other like online companies, whereby if it is 150, it is 150, no increase, no decrease. So the matatu with the tuk-tuk and also the boda bodas, they are negotiable. Though for a person who is traveling to Nairobi, I'm going to repeat this, I would just recommend you to use like the Uber with the Bolt. Leave the boda boda, leave the matatu, and leave the tuk-tuk. Yeah. Another point that I'm going to be talking about in this video, it is going to be all about the internet. Yeah, me talking about the internet, I just want to bring this point because back in Uganda, the SIM cards that I have now here in Nairobi, they don't work, so I just had to tune to the new like internet in the country that I had come in, so that to access like all of like my platforms, my WhatsApp, so that I talk with my family back home and with my friends and all of that other good stuff. So here in Nairobi, these guys are highly advanced. Yeah, let me say 70% of the population in Nairobi, they do use M-Pesa. M-Pesa, comparing it to where I am from, it is something like you using a merchant, something like your money, you keep your money on your phone, and when you want to do, okay, like when you want to buy something, you make a transaction to the person that you're going to be buying that thing from, and that guy will receive a message and money will be chopped from your line to the other person's line, something like that. And I did find it like wow, because back in my country we do use like a lot of cash, so that is why I've brought up this like a point of the SIM card or in the internet. So here in Kenya, Nairobi, they are much in love with Safaricom. When I did some research, I heard that Safaricom in Nairobi, it is the same as MTN in my country, back in my country, Uganda. But these guys of Safaricom, they do have fast internet. I have never like uploaded my video something like, let me say, and I upload it right now when it's something like 120, and in one like and when it is in like 125, the video is done uploading. Back in my country, it is a struggle of uploading videos, but here in Nairobi, they do have fast internet. I love that, and the company of Safaricom should get its flowers also. So when I first came here in Nairobi, I didn't get a Safaricom line. I did get an Airtel line that I found at the stop of my bus, whereby I didn't have any option, because the Safaricom like branches, I wanted to go to like a big branch, like, should I say the service, how do they call it, service, something like that, okay, like the service station. I wanted to visit something like that, and I ended up getting an Airtel line. I loaded data, but I also found out that the internet on this line was also fast. So the Airtel line that I bought while I had landed in Nairobi, they did charge me 100 100 Kenyan shillings, and 100 Kenyan shillings, that is something like 2,000 Ugandan shillings, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, and that is 0 point, I think, $77. Yep, it was not that expensive, though there was a certain guy who wanted to sell to us that line for 500 Kenyan shillings. He wanted to scam us, but as I told you that in Nairobi there are good people, this guy was like, no, you can't charge these people. These people are from a country that we know, and these people are like, they are us, we are one person. And this guy was like, come and I give you lines at only 100 Kenyan shillings. And hopefully these lines were not fake. These lines, I still even use it right now to load data, though I first used my national ID. I didn't use my passport. But if you do use your passport, you can subscribe to more and more packages, like you can receive money on your account. But if you use your ID, you won't be able to do all of that other stuff. You will just be able to go to like an attendant of that company like Airtel, and you tell them to load for you data or airtime, but you cannot buy it for yourself except when you register with your passport. So the SIM cards and our internet in Nairobi, it is top notch, and I just love it, and I love it because I've never used internet when it's so much like fast, when it's so much that fast, and it has like a higher strength. Back in my country, that is not the case, but I just want to give flowers to the people of Nairobi. Thanks for being with like the companies that have fast internet. So guys, my last point that I'm going to be talking about in this video, and it's going to be my final like point, it is going to be all about the leisure here in Nairobi. Remember, when you're coming here in Nairobi, you expect like a lot of like beautiful things, because just take it that you're a tourist, so you have to experience a lot of things, from traveling, visiting the malls, going to parties, going swimming, and a lot of that other good stuff. So the things that I did manage to write down are visiting the gym. Yeah, a lot of people can't live without the gym, that is the fact. And you guys, when I did my research, I found out that here in Nairobi we do have like two kinds of gyms, and the first one on the list, it is the smart gym. And this gym, it can cost you about 35,000 like Kenyan shillings, yeah, for something like a month. And this ones I think, cause these ones I think they're in the junction with something like the Parkland, something like that. Cause the Parkland, it is a region, okay, like, which is so nice, and you can't like take it for granted it being without like a gym. And the monthly like membership for the gym, it can be something like around 35,000 Kenyan shillings, something like that. Let me also talk about you going to like the malls. In the mall, you find out that there are a lot of like different things to experience. Cause me, I did go to the Westgate. Yeah, it is a mall, a very big and luxurious mall, whereby it has like a lot of beautiful stores, from the clothing stores, food stores, leisure stores, like the cinemas and something like that. And in this mall, I did go for KFC, and I just wanted to try out the KFC in Nairobi, and it was a 10 out of a 10. It was so tender, it was so spicy, and it had a very nice scent. So you can spend, I think, even more than 2,000 Kenyan shillings. I think that is around 55 Ugandan shillings. That is a lot of money, because when you go there, you just go with your budget. Go take some pics, make some tours. There are okay like stations where you can buy the wristbands for Kenya, and a lot of like other art crafts. Let me also talk about the movies. The movies, you can go for the regular one, that can cost you something like 350 to 400 Kenyan shillings. I think that is not like much. Yeah, that is not like much. A person who has come from your country to Nairobi and you want to experience something good, this is not that much. If you don't go for the regular one, you can go for the Century Cinemax, and this can cost around 550 to 700 Kenyan shillings. Yeah, when I talk about Cinemax, I think you know the vibe. Even back in my country, we do have a Cinemax, and it is top notch. Though I didn't try that here in Nairobi, but next time I want to visit the Cinemax in Nairobi so that I compare it with the Cinemax back in my country. So here in Nairobi, there are a lot of like things to see and to tour. There are free parks, there are free like stations when you don't charge anything. Like I heard in Uhuru Park that it's free. I don't know if it's free, please inform me in the comment section, but I heard that it's free, though I've not yet like tried it out. There is the Kenyan Museum. There are a lot of places. So guys, it has come to the end of this amazing video where I was talking about the real cost of living in Kenya, me as a Ugandan, and I was talking about all the things that I found out here in Kenya, from the accommodation, the food and groceries, the internet, and a lot of other good stuff. And you guys, if the video was helpful or amazing, make sure that you leave for me a thumbs up, because it helps a lot. Be free to share out the video with friends and family. be free to comment each and everything that you want. And if you're new here, I'm Sharif. I do lifestyle content and many more beautiful things back in Uganda, but currently I'm in Nairobi. I came here to tour a lot of like places, to see, to exploit the culture here, the food, and a lot of that other good stuff. And if you've not yet subscribed to this YouTube channel, please make it a point to subscribe, because we do have like a lot of nice videos here. Yes. And you guys, let me see you in my next video. I'll be uploading up soon. Sharif switching out. Bye.